On the fashion, he the only one to do the fabrics. Rolex, Hermes, and I got my cousin man chain on. Rolls Royce, Maybach. Every time I wanna get my swerve on, I just drop the tires just to see the clouds. Playing my new song with the speaker loud. She said I see you viral on Instagram. I said yeah, that's me, baby, here I am. Every day I wake up and get fly on. So I change my name to the fly lawyer. Yeah, baby, I'm the fly lawyer. I be fly everywhere I come. Everybody stepping, walk in. Like a flea. Got the cousin up and told him make my change. Tell me I'm feeling good.
Welcome everybody to the Spokecast. I'm Johnny Cashmere, and we have a huge night planned for everybody. Let's start getting our peeps in here. What's up, Donnie? How you doing, brother?
Hey, all right, my friends. How are you tonight?
Good. Where are you, on the Rizzo, bro?
No, we had a cancellation for one of the parents to pick up my daughter from cheer, so I volunteered, so I'm picking her up. But I'll be back on the road this weekend down in Baltimore.
Lovely. We can't wait to talk about it. Tonight is Fly Lawyer Night. I'm so glad you're here with us.
Yes, I can't wait.
Hell yeah. What's up, Phil? Good to be here on time, brother.
I'm always on time. What are you talking about? I don't know anything you're talking about. I'm here every single time, ready to go.
Gotta love you, man. Tommy Grayson, what's up, bro?
How you doing, guys? What up?
What?
We got a packed house tonight, guys. We're going to have Fly Lawyer on in just a minute. My brother Robbie is going to interview him along with Skills. Donnie, if you'd like to stay, you can as well. But Tommy and Phil are going to sort of allow it to happen. So what's up, Skills? How's it going, bro?
Poo. We in the building. What it do? Salute. What's going on, gentlemen?
What up, Skills?
What's going on, Donnie?
What's up, Robbie?
Polo cane, polo jacket, polo shirt, polo hat, head to toe for the Fly Lawyer tonight. I can't wait. I cannot wait. We are truly blessed.
Definitely are.
This is exciting.
Good, my Polo brother.
Robbie, this is exciting, my friend. Whenever you're ready to pull the trigger, here's tonight's show.
With the Fly Lawyer, and let me upgrade you to the fly side.
Let me take you shopping and put red bottoms on your feet, baby. Let's take a ride, come sit on these Maybach seats, baby. Let me give you what you deserve. If I buy it for me, I'm buy it for you, you know his and hers. Put that Rolex on your wrist, yeah, we've been spending time. I got a pop.
Damn. Robbie, are we doing it? We bringing him in?
Well, they say a star is born.
Let's do
and
it.
In the state of Georgia, since 1733, only one man can say that he was a police officer, a police chief, a municipal court judge, a state court judge, a superior court judge, and a prosecutor. He's a collector of fine cars, a fashion icon, as well as a sought-after live performer and recording artist. But most of all, if you're in Georgia and you're in trouble, he's the champion you want fighting for you in court. Ladies and gentlemen, the man who puts the lit in litigation, the one, the only, Attorney Jackie Patterson. Give it up for the Fly Lawyer.
Woo!
I'm him.
I'm him.
We got him. First and foremost, we all want to thank you, Fly Lawyer, Attorney Patterson. Thank you so much for joining the Spokecast tonight. One of the things we're trying to do with Spo, we've been very blessed to have a connection with the kids at Chester and the young adults out there that follow pro wrestling. And we really want them to see people from all walks of life and let them see that anything is possible. And your story, it's it should be a movie. You're literally living a movie. So thank you so much for joining us tonight.
I am so honored to be with you all tonight. This I've been waiting ever since you invited me. I had to make sure I put everything to the side to make sure I'm on your show.
Well, we want to start with letting people get to know you. So how did this all start? Where does Jackie Patterson come from?
I'm from a little place called Hogansville, Georgia, about an hour south of Atlanta. We moved to Atlanta when I was about 6 months old. So after high school, I spent 3 years in the Army as a U.S. paratrooper. Then I got out of the Army and joined the Atlanta Police Department. I got my undergrad and my master's degree while I was on the police department. And then once I got my master's, I applied to Thurgood Marshall, Texas Southern University Law School. Been a lawyer now for 33 years. And during the time that I've been a lawyer, Georgia allows you to have several part-time positions. As long as you're a part-time public official, you can still have your own law practice. So 33 years as a lawyer, but I spent time as a police chief, a municipal court judge, state court judge, superior court judge, and prosecutor. So it's been a wonderful ride.
So where was the seed planted for the Fly Lawyer? So I did some research on you. I saw that your father was from Philadelphia. I'm from Philly. We're Philly, so I could see there was something there. But yes. Where was that seed planted? Because
it's pretty easy. My dad told me, and rest his soul, he told me when I was around the 7th grade, he said, "Son, nothing comes to a sleeper but a dream." So I stayed woke since that time, and I always had the position, seeing my mother and father work at ice cream plants, laundries. I just decided that I wanted more out of life, and my family did the best they could to raise me, my mother and my father. My father always lived in Philly. My mother always lived here in Atlanta, but I still felt like I had a 2-parent household. And so I've always felt like I had to be a self-motivator because I knew there was more to life than working in the laundry and working into the ice cream plant. But I love my family. They actually raised me well, but I am a self-motivator.
Now, a lot of people that watch our show are also people in the wrestling industry and any form of entertainment. You deal with a lot of rejection, a lot of adversity. Obviously, it sounds like you're a born winner, but were there ever any times when you were discouraged and you thought that maybe it would be easier or simpler to do the ice cream or do the laundry and just do that and not be a dreamer? Did you ever get discouraged? Let
me tell you how that came to be. When I was growing up in Southwest Atlanta, we have a community called Buckhead, and Buckhead is the richest community basically in Atlanta. And I never knew there was a Buckhead, never seen a Buckhead until I became an Atlanta police officer. And when I saw the homes on West Paces Ferry, I was like, oh my God, this really exists. And I knew then, I said, I want to be a part of this type of lifestyle. So that's where the motivation came from, because I saw houses that I had never dreamed even existed, because being in the South, growing up in Southwest Atlanta, the only thing you ever see is the African-American community. So I never saw any other community until I became an Atlanta police officer. And that's when my eyes got wide open.
Well, that's unbelievable. Donnie actually has worked in law enforcement.
Yes,
Donnie.
I retired 2 years ago. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Thank you, Fly Lawyer. You know.
Yes.
Now, keeping your motivation and everything like that. At what point, when you hit the point where you're a judge and you've served as a judge in this many different assets and you've leveled up to this level, at that point, a lot of guys would become a politician, but you became the Fly Lawyer. So that's what I think everybody is wondering. People in the legal community, people that follow you at your music career. At what point did you decide to just go full force as the Fly Lawyer and make this a brand? And because I know about you were the Bentley Lawyer originally. And
absolutely. And that's what I was going to talk about. Before I became the Fly Lawyer, I was the Bentley Lawyer. I drove a Bentley at the time. So I thought it would be great marketing to call myself the Bentley lawyer. So I had billboards, business cards, everything. And after about 2 years, I got a cease and desist letter from Bentley headquarters from their lawyers. and when that email came through, I was like, oh my God. First of all, I was shocked. Second of all, I was mad because I felt like, I'm promoting their Bentleys, you know what I mean? But
right.
They didn't see it that way. They simply said, we want you to take everything down that has the Bentley logo on it. And so for about 2 days, I was so livid. I felt like my whole world had been shattered because everybody knew me as the Bentley lawyer. But I always believe that when adversity comes, you just have to know how to regroup quickly. And so within 24 hours, and this is what I did, I make my best decisions around 3 in the morning. So I woke up at about 3 a.m. and I said, wait a minute, you no longer can be the Bentley lawyer. I said, how can you rebrand yourself instantly? And this is what I said. I said, well, you drive a Rolls Royce, you drive a Mercedes Maybach, you wear nothing but Christian Louboutin red bottom shoes, you have 255 pairs. I said, you wear nothing but Miguel Wilson custom outfits. I said, you wear, Maybach glasses, Keith and James red bottom hats. I said, you're more than the Bentley lawyer, you're fly. So that's when I determined I was the fly lawyer. So the very next day, I went and reserved that with the Georgia Secretary of State. And then later on, not only that, my name is trademarked now in the U.S. Office of Patent as the fly lawyer. So there's no lawyer in America can ever call themselves the fly lawyer. That's how it came to be, through adversity, and I turned it around.
Wow. And that's a lesson to all the young wrestlers watching right now that are getting started with their merch and their logos, is own your brand. Definitely own your brand. Like this man, and you've actually legally, you've changed your name to the Fly Lawyer as part of your legal name now too.
That is correct. My name used to be Jackie Glenn Patterson. Now it's Jackie the Fly Lawyer Patterson. So when I go to court, the judges will say, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, the defendant is represented by the Fly Lawyer. They don't say Jackie Patterson anymore. And then when the jury sees how I'm dressed, they're like, oh, I get it.
Now, can you go anywhere without getting recognized?
It's been a blessing. When I go to the Dominican Republic, when I go to Mexico, no matter where I am, I was in the Dominican Republic this past weekend, and even on the airplane, there was like, Fly Lawyer, when we get off, can I get a picture with you? So it's really been a humbling experience, but it's one that I don't take for granted because I always stay grounded. So when people approach me, and even when I'm on the expressway, whether I'm driving my Maybach or my Rolls Royce, people are filming me, and next thing you know, they're tagging me. And so it's just been a whirlwind of an experience. So yes, becoming the Fly Lawyer took me to a whole nother level. So I have no regrets now that Bentley sent me that cease and desist letter.
They did you probably the biggest favor they could have without even realizing it.
That is correct.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're absolutely a superstar. We are in awe of you. And I think anybody that sees you and knows your journey has to see that anything truly is possible. Now, your recording career.
Yes.
How did you move into becoming a recording artist?
Let me tell you how that happened. I represent the guy that writes all of my songs. His name is Stunner. He's a rapper out of Atlanta and Miami. And someone referred him to me because his brother had a criminal case in Cobb County. And what happened was that with the lawyer that he had, he was facing 8 years in prison on felony gun and drug charges. When I went to court with him, not only did I get his felonies dismissed, but I got his felonies dismissed, got a misdemeanor conviction, got him only 3 months in the jail. And after that, he was so happy. I said, Stunner, you got to make me a song now. So about 2 weeks later, he sent me a song called Win For You. It was such a good song. And now we're now working on our 7th song. So all of my songs now, number 1 was Win For You, Keep You Out That Sale, Maybach and Rolls Royce, Come to the Fly Side, Baby I'm Fly, and I'm leaving out one. And now we've got a new song that's coming up. We're working on those lyrics right now, and it's called Fly Vacation.
This is awesome.
Unbelievable. Lawyer, 24/7. At any point, you know, in wrestling, we have our gimmicks, and even now, you know, on the podcast, I wouldn't dress like this to just sit around the house. Is there any time that you're just Jackie?
You know, the answer is no. Even when I go to the service station to get gasoline on a Saturday morning, although I have on jeans, sneakers, I'm still fly. They still recognize me because of the way I dress. And the Keith and James hat is always the giveaway.
I got a question though. I want to know where you get your inspiration though, like from the colors though, because I like to like put like 5 colors together and match them all together. I want to know where you get your inspiration from.
It's when I wake up in the morning and I go to my closet, and since I'm the ambassador for Keith and James, I have all 50 hats, of course. And then the fact that I'm the ambassador for Miguel Wilson Collection, when I go in my closet, I've got everything from purple to white to gold, and so my vision, it just comes into play. So I'll say this, this, and this, and it just comes together. I think it's a natural, innate ability to do that. In other words, you can't learn to be fly. It has to, let me rephrase it. You can't learn to be fly. It has to be in you. And just like I heard a celebrity say, and I think it was Deion Sanders, he said, I don't, how did he put it? He said, I don't accept pressure. He said, I apply pressure.
Yo, another question. What is one of your favorite like accessories other than like, you know, the main gear, like your accessories that you put on?
I would have to say it's the Rolex watch, and it's also the Hermes bracelets. Those are my 2 accessories.
So we'll only keep you for a few more minutes. We know you're busy.
I'm in no hurry. Just whenever you're done.
We got a little game we want to try the first time. Like I said, you are the inaugural guest to us, branching out to social media icons and fashion icons and celebrities. So what we like to do, we thought, no, there have been so many lawyers on TV that have either been fashion icons or fashion victims. So if we could, my brother Johnny, 1 second, but Donnie's got a question for you, Fly Lawyer. I apologize.
Okay.
Fly Lawyer, I'm loving everything you do, but as soon as I saw you, I automatically, and you're definitely going to know who this is. I don't know if everybody else will, but I just see like Rudy Ray Moore and Petey Wheatstraw. Like, I think you're incredible, man. Was any of that from the 70s or 80s, any of that an inspiration for your look or anything at all?
It was not. It was simply, you know, when God makes you a certain way and puts you in a certain mindset, it's all you. So what you see in me is really me. As humble as I am, it's me.
I love it. I love everything about you. And God bless you, brother. You're doing great work down there for everybody, and I wish you continued success.
Thank you.
All right, so we'll go now. What we want to do is we're going to do fashion icon or fashion victim. My brother Johnny will put up, I sent him a bunch of famous TV lawyers, and we would love to see what the Fly Lawyer thinks of these famous.
Victim.
Victim. Yeah, well, yeah, maybe. There we go.
Icon.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
See?
Icon.
Yeah.
3 Claire Huxtables.
You don't want to know. You don't want to know what I texted Johnny when I sent him that picture of Claire. I was like, man, Claire's fine as hell, bro.
Oh my God.
Well, I was looking at Bill Cosby when I said victim.
Yeah. There it is. There's that viral clip we were looking for, bro.
Oh my goodness. That's excellent, dude.
You are the man, Fly Lawyer. God bless you.
Thank you. And remember, everybody's just listening in. All you have to do, put the Fly Lawyer in your music platform so you can enjoy all the music. And if you know anyone in Atlanta that's arrested or have any needs, just remember, make 1 phone call and the Fly Lawyer is coming through.
Nice.
Now, can we do a few more fashion? Sure, let's go.
Absolutely.
Through. All right, Dan Fielding from Mike Court and Dan's little buddy there. What do you think?
I think my options are victim, and what's the other one?
Icon.
I think these are icons.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
John Larroquette.
We're doing a curveball now. We're gonna throw him a wrestling curveball, Robbie.
All right, good. There you go.
Oh, that's an icon.
Yeah.
Oh, anytime you got the money sign on you, you're an icon.
There you go. $1 Million Man. Beautiful. Let's see who else. Ah, yes.
Oh, that's truly an icon. Look at the wristbands. Oh, and look at the chains. Oh, that's an icon.
Yeah, God rest his soul. God rest his soul. He got killed over jewelry. Oh, there he is.
Oh, let me tell you, his personality as well as the way he dressed made him an icon.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful.
All right, I might break your heart with this one, Fly Lawyer. Are you ready?
Okay.
The new Matlock.
Let me tell you, she is as fly as can be. Look, that is Miss Fly Lawyer.
Yes. From Harry's Law to now Matlock. How do you feel? Now, my grandmother's rolling over in her grave that's the new Matlock. Are you okay with it? Or do you allow it?
She's fly. I absolutely love that.
Did not expect that.
Who else we got?
This guy.
The
president.
Victim.
This is a politician.
That's a victim.
Sorry, Phil.
His name is Mark.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
Oh.
What else we got, Johnny?
I think that's the last one I had. The other one, the Dan Fielding one, didn't work. I think that's it. We got this. What do you think of this? What do you think of the facial hair?
Oh, look, give it Halloween, and that's an icon. Right?
He was the icon Sting?
He was
Halloween. That's an icon.
Oh, what happened to him?
So I have one final question for you, Fly Lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, I did a little bit of research. So the question I want to ask you is, if the Fly Lawyer today, who right this second, who you are, red bottoms, the whole nine, if you could take your Rolls Royce back in time, back to the Egan homes, and talk to little Jackie Patterson, what would you tell that little boy?
I would tell him that if you think it, and if you believe it, and if you dream it, it's possible. I would say never let anyone kill the flame to your dreams, because remember, if you keep dreaming and put some action behind it, it will come true.
Thank you so much. God bless you, Fly Lawyer. If you want to let everybody know where they can find you on social media. And
absolutely. My Instagram is The Fly Lawyer. My Facebook is The Fly Lawyer. TikTok is The Fly Lawyer. My website is theflylawyer.com. Everything about me is fly.
We would love to have you fly out to Philly sometime and be part of one of our shows. We would love to, fans would love to meet you, and we will have to try to figure something out, because you are truly a superpower, and that's what SPO wrestling is all about. So thank you so much. God bless you, Fly Lawyer.
Thank you so much for having me.
We appreciate you.
Thank you, Fly.
Definitely
you.
approve your flyness.
Hell yeah.
Salute, G.
Wow, that was fun.
That guy was awesome. Who discovered him? What's the story behind who?
Robbie slid right on up on camera. Did you see that?
That was
But
phenomenal.
where is he from? Johnny, I need to know more. I don't know anything. Where's he from?
From Georgia. He's from
Okay.
Georgia.
I know that.
And Robbie, so tell us more about what the research you did and whatnot was just amazing.
Yeah, I mean, he's truly an inspirational guy. And one of the things that we had talked about off the air, one of the things I was fascinated about with him is that, like what Johnny and I say, and some of like what Ruckus and I, our whole gimmick of, well, we're gangsters in the ring. The Fly Lawyer is a guy that he looks like a rapper, or he looks like the guys from the neighborhood I grew up in and stuff, and Skills and I, but he went to law school. That's his stuff. Nobody can ever take it from him. Nobody can ever, he's not like the guys. He's one of us, but he's not. He did it the right way. And, you see him and you assume, oh, he's a rapper. He's a pimp, or no, he's legit. He's the only person, like I said, since 1733, I believe, in the entire history of the state of Georgia that has done all those things.
That's amazing.
How did you discover him? Like, how did this happen? Where is he from? Like, did you know him or something?
No, I was on social media. Yeah, I was on Instagram maybe like a couple months ago, and I saw him, and he's got like 100-something thousand followers. So I'm like, there's no way he's going to see a message from me. I sent him a message, and He instantly wrote back.
So awesome, bro.
Yeah.
I can't wait to listen. I just want to listen to the song "Keep You Out the Cell." That's my new favorite song. I just want to listen to it.
It's phenomenal.
We played it earlier. This is the song right here.
Oh, that was it? Okay.
Yeah, this is the one. Keep you out. I was watching the music video was on YouTube.
So the video I saw where I discovered him was he had literally just won a case for somebody, spur of the moment, and he was in the parking lot in front of his Rolls Royce rapping his theme song after just winning. That's everything.
That's what I've seen.
That's everything.
That's pro wrestling.
That's everything I want to be my entire life. Yeah, and that's right. Yeah. I said, sir, I'm sorry to bother you, but you're already aware you're a total superstar. So if we could ever have you involved with us,
he definitely won in life.
Thank you,
man.
Yeah, the cheat codes.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Fly.
What a star.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
Man, what a fun time. I love it when we have guests to the house. I've told you guys.
I do too. Yeah, I like
fun.
Yeah, that was cool.
And I love that this is a legit billboard. I thought I was guilty until I hired the Fly Lawyer. That's like the best billboard I've ever heard of. That's amazing.
That's definitely a very bleak way of saying, this guy is a problem solver.
Yeah.
Well, I can tell you from a legal point of view, it's pretty goddamn brilliant because automatically most juries are going to want to side with the Fly Lawyer right off the bat. If you're going up, if the Fly Lawyer is on one side and Joe Smith is on the other, right off the bat, you're going to have an unnatural advantage just because of your presentation and your gimmick and all that. I'm telling you right now, this is the way. I've been in a million court cases where one lawyer was charismatic and the other was a jabron. And even if the jabron had most of the facts, the charismatic one won over the jury 9 times out of 10.
Make no mistake about it. Criminal law is really just
it's work.
It's pro wrestling, but it's just a constant promo, without any of the physical action. But they're doing 60-minute Broadways, and but sometimes it's like a straight job, like you said. Fly Lawyer is like
you guys have no idea how insane and similar to pro wrestling that the jury system is and the court system and everything else. If you knew what really happened behind closed doors, you'd go like, what a work.
I believe it.
Like,
I believe it. Trust me. I have enough family member in law enforcement to know that trust me, everything's a work.
Everything's a work. Pro wrestling is real.
So real quick, I just want to we're going to watch some Tasha versus Ruthie. We're going to watch some of the match. But before we do that, I want to get some impressions, you guys. Have anyone seen this? Jean-Claude Van Damme accused of sex trafficking women in Romania. Now, can I ask you guys a question? Look based on the picture. Isn't he guilty of whatever they accuse him of?
I mean,
the poor guy.
What woman in Romania is coming forward to complain about sex with Jean-Claude Van Damme? Well, what year was this?
It's that she was trafficked.
Right. Look at the wording of the headline. He's not accused necessarily that he per se did something wrong with a woman, that he was accused of sex with a trafficked woman. Did he know? How did he know?
Pull it back up. It says Jean-Claude Van Damme accused of sex with trafficked woman in Romania.
Right.
Women.
Oh!
More than one.
So basically, again, going back to what we were saying about the legal system, this is the type of stuff that is right up Donnie B's alley. I'm going to leave it at that.
Sex trafficking women?
I'm saying stuff that would be discussed in the court of law.
What's he trying to say? No, you're right.
Stuff that would be discussed in the court of law.
Yes.
If you have the right kind of money and the right kind of lawyer could get you out of the right kind of trouble if you catch my drift.
You know who Jean-Claude has to call, right?
He's got to call the Fly Lawyer.
Yeah, I'm sure the Fly Lawyer will go to Romania on retainer.
All right, so similar
and all
to
charges are alleged until they are proven guilty.
So Jim Cornette and Brian Last have Stephen P. New. We have the Fly Lawyer. So anytime we're dealing with nonsense, we have to plug the Fly Lawyer.
Oh, we need him for Wrestler's Court next time.
He'll 100% do it.
Yeah, we need him to defend somebody.
100%. So, all right. Speaking of right up Donnie's alley, this is going to be a challenge to everyone to see how many people around this table you can name. Now, me and Brian Logan have this game where we play. It's called Two People Stuck in an Elevator Together, and you try to pick the most random two people, right, and force them to talk. This is the most random table. Donnie, I want you to go first. I want to see how many people. I want to see how many people you can name around this table.
Is that?
Oh wow. Oh,
that's
wow.
Vampiro all the way in the back left.
Yep.
The back
Vampiro.
right is the Boogie Woogie Man, Jimmy Valiant.
Of
is
course.
that Raven next to Vampiro?
No.
I was thinking it was Dave Meltzer.
No, it's not either of them.
I don't know who that is.
I don't know who the blonde-haired girl is.
Tony, that's Angel Metro.
Short, I do.
That's Angel Metro.
That's Angel Metro.
I don't know who that is. And then the last guy looks like an overweight Mark. I don't know who that is. Oh wait, is that Eric Sims?
It's Eric.
Is that Eric Sims? Oh, I thought it was some fan who just wandered in and got a meal with those guys. I didn't know that was Sims.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Because he doesn't have his glasses on. That's why he looked.
Wow.
I just assumed it was some like wayward special needs fan or something that made his way over to the table.
Well, this is photo proof that Eric Sims has smiled before. We can't ever say that he's never smiled again.
Who is the guy in the red hat?
No one knows. I really thought it was Meltzer.
Well, I'm assuming he's the guy who paid for the other four. Well, no. If Sims is there, I'm sure he paid.
Dude, Boogie Woogie Man looked like that in the 80s.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. Boogie hasn't aged.
My God.
Vamp looks, he looks okay. Yeah. I'm a big.
By the way, you guys, did you see Lavari climb the charts again from 28 to 14? Now he's all the way up to 10
in the UK. In the UK,
he's back to 10 in the UK, man. I'm excited for him. Oh yeah,
that's a big market.
So, yeah, you guys want to watch some wrestling or what?
Yeah,
do it.
We'll see some Tasha Steelz.
Wrestling.
This is the SPO women's title match from the last event. Everybody.
The text of that is they were 10.
I'm gonna lower the volume so we can talk too, because our analysis matters. We're experts, right?
Yeah.
Well, shout out to
I really like
in the front.
Oh yeah.
I'm a fan of Ruthie J's gear personally.
Me too.
It's like that tealish powder blue.
Yeah. And Tasha's in a new stable. Phil, did you see that?
No, I didn't.
In TNA, I think it's like a 4 horseman type.
Okay.
Order 4, it's called. Jockeying for position. What a great referee, by the way. Yo, I think probably the best referee on the independents is Shin. I like Shin.
He would agree with you too.
Yep. Brian Logan wouldn't agree. Brian found fault with him immediately.
All right, so let me ask you, if Brian Logan were to jumble two people in an elevator, what other scenario could? Yeah.
Whoa.
Nice.
You think Gangrel told her that? She's trained by Gangrel down in Florida, she told us.
Nice.
Nice float over. I mean, neither girl's carrying any body fat.
It's refreshing to see clean wrestling on the independents.
Back to a vertical base. Yeah.
First time me watching this.
Well, see how Ruthie was making Tasha carry her weight right there? That wears you down fast.
What's up with that light?
Oh yeah, there's a light in the ring.
I don't know how that happened.
Or is that from?
No, it's one of the. It looks
one of
like
the camera guys.
Yeah, one of the cameras.
Oh, you're right.
Deep arm drag. And another still in trouble.
Oh, girls are going a mile a minute. This was what, second match? No, first. This was
Yeah, I
opening
was gonna
match, I
ask
think.
that. This is the beginning of the show. I think people were still coming in.
Yeah, this opened our last show.
Yeah, it did.
That's a great way to start the show.
Double Trent knees, back to her feet.
Ooh.
Missed the knees again, one too many.
Wow.
Went to the well one too many times. They used to say.
I was just gonna say, you know, that's a Johnny Cashmere line right there, but
oh, nice turnaround. I didn't see that coming.
That's interesting.
Referee Nick Shin only with a 2 count. It's going to take more than that to put
The building looks pretty good on camera, guys, right?
Looks great.
Thanks to our friends at R5 Media for the production.
Great crowd.
Yeah, no more smoke either. Too smoky in there now. Wow.
Ooh.
Do you guys remember when only Scott Steiner could even attempt that?
Right. Hey, Captain Kirk was doing it in the 60s.
That's true. I think he inseminated a woman that way.
Misses with the senton.
Terrible.
Nice leg drop. 1, 2, lazy pin. We've been seeing a lot of lazy pins, guys. We saw them in the JP match too. It's like people don't hook legs like they used to anymore. Phil, do you still stress that with your students to hook legs?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Really?
You do. You have to make it a convincing pin. And when I say convincing, I mean like your weight has to be on them. You have to like have leverage over them. You put them on, you stack them on their own shoulders. That's the whole point of grabbing their leg.
It makes perfect sense. So you guys, I'm still reeling from the Fly Lawyer. I'm in such a great mood. But in addition to the Fly Lawyer, we also have Chanel Verandez. Have you guys seen her? She's a model and just look how likable she is. She's like got that Angel Metro likability to her, you know?
And Johnny, you're making these graphics now, right?
Eclipse Graphics makes them. Yeah,
Eclipse?
we subcontract it to the guys over. They're nice enough to make our graphics for us.
I mean, that's awesome work. That's doing a still photo with a moving image.
Peggy, what up, Peggy?
I kind of like that look.
Phil, I used to help with RCW and everything, but down in Baltimore, and Eclipse, by far the fastest, people we've ever dealt with as far as that kind of stuff. Like Fly Lawyer, we got yesterday, for example, yesterday morning, and we hit up Eclipse like 2:00 in the afternoon, and by 3:30 we had something to send to Fly Lawyer and put up on our social media, including video and everything. So
fast turnover.
Guys at Eclipse Graphics, thanks again.
Yeah,
follow them on their Instagram.
Make sure to give them a plug. They do really, really dope work and really fast turnaround and are improving their skills on a daily basis.
Yeah, hey,
what up?
Skills.
For whatever reason, the match was not me watching it in here, and the stream was choppy, so I had to put it on. I put it on the TV, so we're like a few seconds behind right now. So I'm time traveling while we're doing this.
Right. And don't forget, if anyone knows who the guy in the red hat is in this picture, let us know. We got to figure this out next week. It's not Dave Meltzer because of the arms. Meltzer has bigger arms, but in the face, it's a dead ringer.
I can see why somebody would say Raven, because he has like the button down shirt with Cadillac on it, and Raven dresses like that now. But
yeah,
is Vamp back in the ring, or is he just doing commentary? He can't wrestle anymore, right?
I don't think so.
Battleground. They were the match before us. Like as we were about to go through the curtain, we were on deck. They were out there, him and Crowbar.
Vampiro and Crowbar?
Yeah.
Wow.
At Ted's back in December.
Okay.
Yeah,
wow.
but I will say this: he did. I don't know what he said because we were getting ready to go out, but he did cut not a long promo, but he did kind of like cut a promo in the ring that might have symbolized that he might be, be down. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not really sure.
I mean, I just pulled up his cage match just because I got it open right here. So it says that he's had 3 matches this year, most recent one being the 29th of March. It was and it looks like he worked out in Arizona. So, good for Vamp, man. Real happy for the Canadian Vampire making his return to professional wrestling after what should have been a death sentence if, you know, it's true that he was dealing with Parkinson's. You know, so say that again.
He looks good too. He doesn't like, you know, when he's Vampiro still, you know.
Good.
Yeah. He back in the day, you Phil and Johnny and Skills, you guys might remember way back, I'm talking like 93, 94, there was a tape floating around called Hardcore Overload by Bob Barnett. And it was like a mixtape of all indie stuff. And it was Vampiro had like a 10-minute shoot interview on there. And it was the first ever shoot interview pretty much that like this is when like AOL and Prodigy were first a thing. And like, it was a really big deal to the point where when Art Barr passed away on ECW TV, they played a clip of Vampiro talking about Love Machine Art Barr and how good he was to pay tribute to him. That was in February of 95 when Art Barr died.
No kidding.
Hero back in the day, he was one of the first like mythical like guys you would hear about that was like, you know, a white boy, but he was wrestling in another country that was and a big superstar and on soap operas and all that other stuff.
Mm-hmm. He really was like the first example of like an international superstar, and then somebody who came back and blew up in the States afterwards. You know, because he was just that. He was a Canadian, you know, a Canadian doing a vampire gimmick in Mexico. So it's, you know, you want to talk about just, you know, you want to talk about just being from out of this world. It's, you know, forget about it. You know, it doesn't get more out of your element than that. You know, because Canadians are known for their technical prowess, you know, a lot more so than, you know, their character-based wrestling, especially during the time he was breaking in. So, you know, I think it's no surprise that, you know, he's one of those guys that has stood the test of time and is able to keep, you know, wrestling well into, you know, the 2020s, despite, you know, you talking about something that appeared in the early 90s. That's going on 40 years of wrestling, you know, and still to be talked about. It's like, you know, you don't get runs like that with the type of matches that he was having in those days. So, you know, just food for thought there, folks.
Steve Jordan might have that. Oh my God. You can't even find that online anymore.
Yeah, Steve Jordan. I'll take any, if anyone has any old tapes or footage, send it my way. I would love to, you know, just discover old, you know, I'm a big lost footage or found footage seeker.
I saw somebody asking like $100 for Hardcore Overload. And I have it like at my mom's somewhere on VHS. I would love to find it. I mean, you guys would love it. I mean, there's actually one of the little mixtape things is like they go mid-match. They start and it's Too Cold and Benoit. And Benoit's heated up, Scorpio. And then Benoit just stops and he goes like this. He goes, "What? He can't get up. I guess he's too cold." Yeah, I know.
Lovely.
You know.
Wow.
Benoit have exercising.
I guess again, I don't even have a comment for that. You know, I have a dark sense of humor, so I could say something messed up, but
yeah,
you know,
I think it was from like UPW because like Mike Modison and might have been on his tape too. Yeah, it's really awesome. Yeah, it's mythical. It's like one of those back in the day, like, you know, the tape of destiny.
What happened to the match? Yeah, let's get back to the match.
Seems to me like Ruthie J is trying to end this one quickly, going for those quick covers. Yet you expend that energy, no matter if it's a 2 count, a 1 count, you still expend that energy trying to kick out. Exactly. Runs in with that back elbow. I feel like we're in a bit of a twilight zone. We're actually agreeing. I mean,
both girls looking worse for wear at this point. It takes a lot out of you. You know, these rings are big for these girls. I don't care what anyone says.
And
these rings are made for, well, they're made for 250-pound men. You know, they really are.
And we
girls
might
are doing
have
amazing.
The ring reinforced for Hank that night too.
Got to get that cover though, Jay.
Calling for it, done.
Rolls through. She might be a little bit overconfident. That could bite her.
We actually moved the ring that night for the ladder match, so you know.
Yeah, we did. We did have to move the ring. You're right. This match actually goes pretty long. I think it's like 12, 14 minutes.
Wow.
It's a nice, good opening match. Yeah, well, it's for a title. I mean, both girls, you could tell neither of them wanted to give up.
They were earning it that night, as they say.
Followed her up with an elbow. They didn't used to do that in my day, by the way. Follow you into the ropes with a European uppercut. That never existed. Phil did it.
No, the like rope follow-up stuff is becoming more and more common. And I like it as a setup for a lot of stuff.
Yeah, it's different.
Mm-hmm.
Using the bottom rope never happened for anything either. Remember? Now it can be used for good, just for.
I like.
See, she pulled her right into the middle to pin her, so she couldn't get her arms on the ropes. That's the stuff that Gangrel teaches you down at CCW.
Yeah.
Good ring awareness, good positioning.
I mean, if you're not trying to win the match, what are you trying to do, right?
Right.
Right.
Away from the champion.
Also using her upper body to lean down on the back.
Sabu also did it too. No, we're talking about. I think what Johnny's talking about is if you're on the apron and you springboard into the ring using the bottom rope. That's become a more newer thing. But if you're already like in the ring and you springboard off the bottom, yeah, that's been commonplace.
Trey Miguel does a lot of like bottom rope stuff and springboard offing, springing. Oh my God, language is hard for me today. Springing off the bottom rope frequently.
These girls are hitting each other right in the face. Look at this.
Yeah.
It's become a lot more.
Oh my God.
Commonplace since I hate to attribute anything to anything in particular, but I've noticed a lot more since like the Shikara days, I think.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna say his name, but yeah, he used to tell a lot of people nobody does it here. Do these things off the bottom rope. So.
Yeah,
I mean, for better or for worse, I'm just attributing it to that they had their trios division and everything like that. So you would see a lot of guys like like the Maximos and like the SAT and everything. So like give credit where it's due. Like they influenced a generation. And a generation came and decided to innovate in their own way. So there's nothing wrong with evolving the style of wrestling if it's being done for the greater good of the progression of the perception of wrestling. If things are being prostituted out, as they say, to the point where, they're taking place of basic fundamentals, then it becomes a cause of concern. And just my take, but, yeah.
All right. Did you guys see this, by the way? The senior scramble?
I did see that.
Dude, I feel like if I show up to IHOP and ask for the senior scramble, they're going to be like, oh, that's just an early bird special. You can't have that.
Well,
dude, the Warlord. Remember we saw the Warlord at that ISPW show last year, Tommy? He looked great.
He looked phenomenal. He looked more jacked than like anyone on TV like today still. He's huge. He's huge.
Look at all the Doug Gilbert. Yo, I saw Doug Gilbert wrestle at the Mount Holly Armory in 98.
I saw Doug Gilbert versus Zandig at the South Philly truck stop. They were the match. Billy and Frank. It was Billy with Angel in his corner versus Frank with me in his corner. It was my first day in the business, June 15th, 1996.
Dude, that's the watch-along we have to do. That's the watch-along.
Was that where Cornette managed Doug Gilbert?
Yes. Dude, me and Frank are walking back to the back to the locker room cell, and I'm literally 15 years old. And Cornette and Brian Christopher are walking out for their match. Yeah, Cornette.
Yep.
And Cornette ripped us a new you-know-what after the match saying, and Balls, God rest his soul. And Bill Watts UWF, if you threw a punch in the first 3 matches, you would have got fired. What the was that? Frank and Billy went out there and killed the business. God bless them.
Frank, Santa Kringle, you mean when you say Frank?
Stay it. No, Frank Stay it.
Oh, Frank Stay it? Okay. Frank Stay it.
Yeah. He was Urban Soul and I was Urban Mind. And we were did the same, Yo Boy Robbie gimmick I've been doing for 20 years now.
Right.
Was the show main evented by Pondo and Ian?
Yes, 4 Corners of Pain.
Yes, and Cornette buried that too and said, "What the fuck?"
Yes. One of the greatest days of my life. Thomas Rodman gave us a ride to Adelphia's after the show.
All right. We need to, yes, that needs to be our next watch along, but let's, I want to see some more hybrid women's title match.
Yeah, I want to see that too. Let's check this out, guys. Watch a little bit more of this match.
And the kick is up. No! It was good.
Somehow Ruthie found a way out of that, surviving the onslaught by Steelz.
That was a close.
You know, the fans here had never met Ruthie before this either. They knew Tasha.
Top of his game right now. He's there for the covers.
Tasha had just wrestled Christina Marie.
Steelz going up high. Very dangerous.
And Ruthie now getting some experience in this area too, because she was here with NWA not too long ago too.
That's right.
You know, so she's learning that Philly style too.
That's not easy to step up on the top rope from the second like that.
I can't do it.
Steelz in trouble here.
Airplane spin.
Strong. These girls are strong too. Jeez.
No. Airplane spin into a.
That's a move you'd see back in like the 80s, 70s. That's time honored. Who used to do an air? I feel like Gorilla Monsoon would do an airplane spin.
He did it to Muhammad Ali.
That's what okay.
Yeah.
Feeling it right now. This is where you got to dig deep. This is what makes you a champion. This part of the match.
Good, Reefer. Reefer's a good commentator.
Yeah.
Reefer is a good commentator.
Look, you can see the 360 photo booth in the back right of the picture.
Stealing heat.
Oh, that's what that is. I was like,
yeah.
No, it makes it look like we're on a spaceship.
It does. And so does the guy in the silver suit too.
Captain Kirk presents.
Michael's in a silver suit back there.
What happened there?
Interpretive dancing.
Oh, yo, that's another thing, Phil. Where were the cutters in the 90s? Only DDP. Whoa!
Right.
I didn't see that coming. Look, the crowd got into that. Let's watch that again. Watch the crowd. Yes.
Nice.
Yes.
Beautiful finisher.
Good job.
You know, like Shane Douglas used to say about Scorpio was smooth as silk. You know, and sometimes I'll see somebody hit something and I'm like, oh, smooth as silk. It just like it pops in my mind. That was awesome. Smooth as silk, that finish.
That was awesome.
Or smooth as steel.
Smooth as steel.
This is going to be smooth. Dude, I can't wait to see this match, you guys. I'm sorry.
Dude, that's going to be the walk and talk to end all walk and talks.
Dude, seriously.
You know, Warlord was 50 Cent's bodyguard.
What?
And taught 50 Cent about working out and stuff. Yeah.
Wait a minute. And wasn't Iron Sheik the Shah of Iran's bodyguard?
Yeah.
Wow.
Amazing.
Can you pull that back up again?
What are we pulling back up, brother?
The senior scramble.
Oh, absolutely.
We got George South and Ricky Morton. I mean, come on. That's like.
Yeah, but does it say who's the guy Mike Jackson?
Dude, that's the guy I told you about that I want to bring in. Action Mike Jackson.
Yeah.
That's the guy that I want to wrestle if I get better.
He's from like the deep south. He's like from Alabama, like had a resurgence like what 3 years ago, and it was like, where is this guy? Like
he's like 75, legit.
I feel like he's connected to the Armstrongs in my brain, but I was
going to say I thought it was Bullet Bob.
No, God rest his soul.
There's a chick Donovan or something. There's a chick someone who wrestles too. He could be in this.
Yeah, that's Bryce Donovan's uncle.
So guys, we got to wonder why. We have to wonder if the Barbarian's okay. He might be injured because why is he not in this? You figure he's going to be in Vegas Mania weekend
at Dino's last year.
Dude,
that's a watch.
I think Barbarian and Warlord need to run a spot in this match together.
They should. Yeah.
I love
that'd be over. Guys,
I mean, it might be one of those things where, you know, like, for example, we know that Robert is going to be at a later date with Ricky, but, you know, maybe he's not in this match.
Right.
So maybe it's, you know, like I'm
true.
sure it's just a scheduling and a timing thing, you know, like, you know, don't forget these guys are also, you know, people have lives outside of wrestling. It's okay to miss, you know, an event, but, you know.
You know how
hoping for the best with him.
Speaking of lives outside of wrestling, I want to show you real quick. So we talked about Chanel a minute ago, right? I showed you her thing. Check out her, like what she is and does. Look, Afro-Cuban. She's a Brazilian opera singer. Now, that doesn't mean she's Brazilian. It must be a style of opera. Would we agree that there's a Brazilian opera that she must sing?
Well, she sings in
sounds
Portuguese.
like it.
She would sing in Portuguese instead of like Italian, like regular opera.
Exactly. And then she also plays the viola and the French horn. Plus, she's a model. It's just amazing how much she does. Like, she's talking to her is so cool too. Like, such a nice person. But Robbie, she was found for us by Elena.
The lovely
Elena Mizernaya, right? The current Miss Nation Universe. And we got a big announcement tomorrow night, everybody. We are going to start doing Tuesdays, Robbie. This is your thing. I'm going to let you talk.
Yeah, so tomorrow we're going to start Spo City, which is just leading up to our shows and our events, a way to have a little more free form time to introduce some of the non-wrestling people, kind of like what we did tonight with the Fly Lawyer. Was kind of just a almost like the Simpsons Christmas special, how that happened and the Simpsons happened. Well, now we'll have this leading up to the shows, just ways to introduce people that are involved with SPO, people that are local to, the Philadelphia, Chester area. We're working on getting people that have been through some real situations, because we are meeting some really, really remarkable people that have been through some incredible stuff to get where they are and to come to us. We're partnered with some really incredible nonprofits and everything. And I just think it's a good way for us to just focus on who we are as individuals, who we have involved with us. And so that'll be starting tomorrow night. So we hope everybody, and of course, too, if you think you'd be a great guest, if you have questions for one of our great guests, get involved. That's what this is about. It's about more engagement with our audience, and also a reciprocal thing for our artists, for them to be able to reach new people and get new fans as well. Because everybody listens to music, everybody watches movies, everybody watches podcasts. So if we can connect that with all the great wrestling we have going on, all the incredible talent, SPO's one of those places where when you look years from now and you see, Backseat Boys WrestleMania weekend or AEW pay-per-view, or you see Feral Face in New Japan, or you're going to say, I found out about them at SPO, at least in this area. Me and Skills talked about that the other day. And I just want to give Skills a shout out. You have a brother for life, Skills. Thank you again so much. And you know what I'm thanking you for, Skills. Me and Skills talked about it with when, we're trying to give platforms to people. We're very fortunate to be able to give platforms to people. And nothing makes us happier when we see somebody that we believed in get somebody. We're just a little mom and pop. So if we can help the big Walmarts of wrestling believe in our guys and our talents and the people that believe in us, that's one of the things we're going to do, is give them a platform with the SPO City podcast, which we'll still talk about wrestling and have fun, but that way it won't be as centric based on the event coming up. It'll be more free form and stuff like that.
Yep. I look forward to it. It's going to be fun tomorrow night. I look forward to it a lot. Excellent.
Yeah, appreciate the opportunity, guys.
Tommy, real quick, I got to show this. Who made this for us? I love it.
I believe that was JP. I don't know if it was him exactly who made it.
I don't know. It's banging.
That's awesome.
Dude, I feel like EC3 in there. Don't I look like EC3 a little bit?
You definitely, it's giving me EC3 vibes, but it's also giving me, if anyone knows Dragon Ball Z, you're giving me Hercule vibes.
Yes. Yes. Tommy, you look like Manny from Primal Fear.
Nice. And JP looks like Heidenreich.
Well, we could definitely be like Devil May Cry characters.
Please don't ever say that again.
Stop it. I want to base a tag team around Devil May Cry. I think it's one of the best looks ever, Devil May Cry.
Cool look. I have PTSD for Dante. I don't like. I like Deadpool better. So.
What about this look, you guys? Don't you love that Danny Trejo is the the picture person for the catfishing now?
No, that's like my experience with online dating recently.
Oh God, that we can do a whole show just on that. But guys, speaking of online dating, there's a guy that I mark out for. He's an actor from American Horror Story and a bunch of. He's on Max now, and he put this out, and it's so positive and uplifting. Listen to this, guys. What do you make of this? Ready? Down the bottom. Must be nice to have a singular obsession around which your entire life revolves. Simplified desire. Obsession also carves the contours that create character. I don't want to be general and listless. I want to be freak obsessed. Like, dude, that stuff comes to you on planes. I need to travel more.
I have a theory, though. He's sort of right. Like, I always say, why is Michael Jordan the greatest basketball player of all time? And it's because he is a high-stakes gambler. He's addicted to gambling. So gambling, competition is something that he just has to. He has to. When I saw Al Pacino say about The Godfather, it wasn't that he wanted it; it's that he had to have it. That role, right? Had to have it.
And I don't know if it's necessarily about planes, but whenever you travel and you have that like downtime and your brain's like resetting itself, like you just had this experience and your emotions were high or the adrenaline was high, and now you're like recovering, and so your brain is still going sometimes. I had to write some emails at 3:00 in the morning on Sunday morning just because I was like, I can't sleep. I have to like work this out of my brain.
And Fly Lawyer said earlier it came to him at 3:00 in the morning.
Yeah.
And coincidentally, when I contacted him yesterday, remember Johnny? He said, "I'm on a plane, but I'll get back to you."
He was flying. The Fly Lawyer was in the air. He was in mid-flight.
That's what I love about him. His name is both a noun and a verb now.
Yes. He is, man.
And adjective. He's flying.
He's awesome. We're so lucky. We're so lucky to have the Fly Lawyer, everybody.
And he has service on the plane.
Oh, he probably paid extra. He had Maybach seats on the plane somehow.
His plane. It has to be his plane. I just picture like, red leather seats and like a red bottom plane. There's a red bottom on the plane.
But I got it. If anyone's keeping score, guys, we're 1 for 1. You realize this, right? Last week, we started fishing for influence, and we did a whole segment begging the Fly Lawyer to show up. And then my loving brother, Robbie, gets the Fly Lawyer on here the very next week. We are literally 1 for 1. We stepped up to the plate, we pointed to the outfield, and we hit a home run. So
don't expect an Easter basket this year. That's your Easter present. All right?
It's all downhill from here, guys. We didn't do a fishing tonight, so we can't have anyone next week. We're going to have to do another fishing next week. Start letting us know who you want us to fish.
I sent some lines out there. So
can we do trivia? Can we do trivia next week also? I would like to do more wrestling based trivia.
That was fun.
Yeah.
And Skills,
let's everyone submit a trivia.
Please submit trivia to us. We would love that. Skills, when we were interviewing the Fly Lawyer, I had this thing over your head like the whole time. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I finally realized I took it down.
I want to stop his flyness from saying what he had to say. So that's all good.
I hope he trademarks the man who puts the lit in litigation, and then me and him get in like a big legal battle because I said it here on the podcast first. It could be like full circle.
All right, I like it. All right, so next week we'll do trivia. So we'll do trivia and we'll watch another match next week, guys. What do you want to watch?
To live in Atlanta and to be able to see that man on your TV when we're stuck with like John Morgan and like Alan Rothenberg out here. You know what I mean? Like,
don't we have like Hammer and Hammer? Like, isn't Science and Kirk? That's the one I'm thinking of.
Singer.
Cody and Myers. We have no Fly Lawyer though.
Alan Rothenberg, the defense attorney. Remember him?
1-800-624-8888.
Oh my God! How do we know that?
I used to call home and say it was his nephew Seth to try to get through his secretary.
Do you guys want to watch the Fly Lawyer at a gala, exciting all these women and dancing?
Yeah, he's got to play us out.
Not a man in sight, but one man. This man is just Robbie. You hit a home run tonight, brother.
Listen, it's like the reality is this: if there's one lesson you could learn, and I don't want to curse, but I will just to make a point. That is what you call fuck you money.
Oh,
that is a guy that had got to a level of his life where he can dress however he wants, drive whatever he wants, and go wherever he wants because he worked hard and he didn't give up. And ultimately, that goes for anybody. Goes for any of us in this room, anybody watching this.
Well, speaking of anybody watching, tomorrow, 7 o'clock, we're going to have our first night of our new spinoff, Thursday Thunder. Spo City, a new spinoff debuts. So that's tomorrow, and we are going to announce our streaming platform tomorrow. So we have a lot of announcements even tomorrow. We're going to talk to Elena. And guys, we forgot to ask Fly Lawyer, but him and Elena know each other, right? From Miami?
Yeah, absolutely. They were at a gala with a king, I believe. And that's legit. It's on our social media. They were talking to each other on our social media. So it's a small world. It goes to show you that everybody is kind of in our solar system here. And the spolar system is
a gala with a king. I love it. We have a podcast. We have a podcast with a president.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you can't top that.
Yeah.
And he is not a victim. He is not a victim, right? He's an icon, all right?
What a great sport he was.
That was great. No, this was awesome. We got to do this again.
So thank you guys. Next week we're going to watch another match, and we're going to have some more announcements coming up, you guys. So check us out tomorrow night with Elena. Get to hang out with Elena, Robbie. We got some cool stuff planned, right?
Can't wait, man.
See you guys.